That we have gotten you excited about shopping in the 37421 zip code. Let's get you eager to live in the 37421 zip code. So Mark is back in the studio with us now with some examples of housing.
Absolutely. It is, as we've discussed, it's a popular and diverse zip code, both for young families and for downsizers, folks who have lived their time, raised their kids. And so we've actually got some examples of housing today, the diversity of housing in 37421.
Well, and I think that's a really great choice you've made in looking at the different stages of your life, because if you are the family raising your kids and then you don't need the big house anymore, you still have friends nearby, you have your way of life in that area, you don't want to leave it necessarily.
Very often your friends, your church, your physicians, you know, if you've gotten used to living in a neighborhood, you think about, you know, going down Gun Barrel, you have Erlanger East, you have all those physicians' offices. It's kind of a lifestyle, and just because you perhaps you've aged and the kids are gone, you don't need a pediatrician anymore, but you might need another specialist.
A geriatrician, right?
Exactly.
So I can't remember if we said this on camera when we first opened the show, or if this is something that you told me off camera when we had talked, but the truth is Gun Barrel Road, before the mall came in, was a heavy residential area.
Absolutely.
It's kind of coming back in a way, right?
It is. If you look at where Hamilton Place sits today, back in the 80s, there were homes sitting there. It was a residential neighborhood. Many of those homes were moved. They weren't just, you know, torn down. But what we've seen now, because of higher density, you know, the desire to be in the area, the desire to stay in the zip code, but you're seeing more zero lot line, more townhome environments particularly. So we get more density so that folks, particularly as we're aging on the other side of life, there are housing options for them.
Well, this first one that you have really surprised me when I saw the price tag on this thing.
Yeah, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home on Cannondale Loop, just off of Gun Barrel. It was perfectly designed for a downsizer. It has a nice screen porch, so it has outdoor living space, has an open floor plan, so you still have room for friends and family with your dining, living, all in one open space, so it maximizes the square footage, and it was listed at only $249,000. Now, Julie, this is unusual in 37421, but we wanted to show an example of the downsizing opportunity that exists.
And that if that does exist, you've got to jump on it. I mean, if you're looking to make a move, you almost like planning a wedding, you have to prep a long time in advance.
Right, and so when the property comes available, you're prepared to pay, and in this case, this home sold for cash and literally had multiple offers because it was somebody looking to do just that, downsize.
Okay, so that's that one. Now if you go kind of middle ground, where do you find us?
Well, here we find the next home is a perfect family home. It's at $485,000. It's in the same area, frankly, very close to the Hamilton Place Mall. Convenient, big yard like we saw back in the 60s, but has been nicely updated, got a new kitchen. It was 3,000 square feet and listed at $485,000. Now, keeping in mind the median price in Hamilton County is running right at $300,000, so we're 1.5 times the median price. But you're getting good schools, you're getting great convenience, and you're getting a lot of square footage with 3,000 square feet.
Yeah, and by the look of the pictures you were able to share this morning, those rooms look nice and big. Sometimes you go back to that Brady Bunch era of living, and it makes sense for a family.
It absolutely. This is a perfect home for a family because you have all the conveniences, but you've got a larger yard for the kids to play, be the point where your neighbor kids hang out, if you will. It's a great, for someone, you know, your age, our age, that's got school-age kids, it's a great home.
And it's a home you could, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, I can't believe where we are with our dollars these days, but it's not that far off in price, so that if you are if you have young kids, you can stay and grow into it.
Grow into the home. It's a good example. It's not going to be as large as the third home that we look at, more of an estate home in East Brainerd, but it's a great middle-of-the-road place to live a large chunk of your life in.
Okay, I think I know where you're taking us next. Where are we going?
We're going to the infamous Mountain Shadows, one of the most successful residential developments in Hamilton County over the last 30, 40 years. This home is a downsizer home, in fact. It's not the most expensive home in Mountain Shadows at $725,000, but it was a 5-bedroom, 4-bath home, 5,000 square feet.
Right.
Truly an estate style home. that was designed for even multi-generational living.
So that speaks then, that's a great point, the multi-generational blended families. Sometimes
Yep.
all of a sudden you need a lot more space.
Yes.
But it also speaks to you have that big house for a while and then you can try to find the smaller downsizer still in that zip code.
This home was perfect with a lower level basement, an in-law suite, if you will. So it was designed with the thought of having, you know, multi-generational living. At the same time, the family that sold this house went into a downsize mode. So we today in 37421, we see the entire cycle of life
Right.
As it represents in housing.
And you do see, I think it's interesting that in the three you chose this morning, they're all, well, that's not true. The Cannondale one was a newer build, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can kind of catch your choice if you want new or old.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is a look at housing at 37421. If this is speaking to you and you want a chance to talk with Mark or somebody on his team about finding a place for your family to live, call them. Their office number is 265-0088 online. It's markhitehomes.com. Always follow him on Facebook because he's throwing out new ideas, things that are about to hit the market. That's his way of getting to you first. And when we come back, we'll head just north into the 37363 zip code and focus on that. Chattanooga Unzipped continues.